Hi everyone. I hope you are enjoying our conference. I would like to announce next speaker is Mohammed, game designer at Gnarly Game Studio, with the topic Hyper to Hybrid. What's the difference? Hi Mohammed.
Hi, thank you so much for this chance to meet with amazing people on amazing event. I'm Muhammed Ali from Gnarly Game Studios. I'm working as a game designer. Uh, as I'm at first, I want to start with talking what Gnarly Games are doing. Gnarly Game Studio got the investment from We Play Ventures 2 years ago with the success of Catchy, which was a battle royale casual game. We were also working on multiplayer midcore games, and we published Sea Lords with ESO, which reached more than 1 million downloads so far. We got flat organization structure, which is boosting our productivity and working from home with a friendly and dedicated team. I suggest you to follow us up for new games and success stories. Today we are going to talk about the main structures of hyper casual games and the hybrid casual games, and we are going to compare them about their design, development, and monetization processes. As we all know here, every game genre requires different types of motivation and sources. Also, their target group is different than each other. Let's start with common spectrums and their baselines. Hyper-casual games, when we say hyper-casual, we are looking for a basic core loop in the beginning, as we all know. Instant instant access to action, minimum UI. This is the summary of hyper-casual games which was dominating the charts for last couple of years. By the way, before jump into casual games, I want to mention that saying basic is not something rubbish or super easy. Basic means that it's really easy to learn and you don't need to master any of the game mechanics. Casual games, uh, they also have simple gameplay, uh, but different than hyper casual, they got a bit more complex design, adapt within the gameplay, but easy and simple to master. So if we summarize and compare with hyper casual, learning and diving into action are still same in casual, but there are major differences on game design. Their level system and progression feeling is much more obvious, and win conditions are harder than hyper casual games. When we look at the midcore games, mid-core games are much more skill-based games in terms of casual and hyper-casual games. Uh, they they don't have any limit on the game mechanic numbers. They mostly have a strategy side, so players need to be skilled and invest more time to find their path to win the game or achieve the goals. Also, monetization is planned for long term in mid-core games, unlikely hyper-casual games. So, where is hybrid casual? Actually, hybrid casual is not in between some of these steps. Hybrid casual is a hybrid genre. They are like hyper casuals about pick up and play, instant game, instant games, but mixed with casual and mid-core features, especially on level design and monetization. There is a much deeper system, gameplay, and system is much more like casual and mid-core games. But I always stick with the pick up and play motto to be able to survive in the market which is being dominated by hyper casual games. If you want to go deeper in hyper casual games, they have hyper casual core game loops and simple mechanics, all the things we love about hyper casual games like no tutorial and etc. But they are expanded with features like long-term player progression and monetization model uh, is like casual and mid-core games. But when we analyze the market, hyper casual games are getting more and more features, skins, and progression details every day. So it shows that hyper casual games itself is evolving into something. If we think about how this is started, we can remember Flappy Bird and some other games who published it, who published at the same time. They they have one mechanic. They were simple. There is nothing extra in that games. But today, especially on idle games, arcade idle games, they are so they are not they are not being played by one mechanic. Their their monetization way is not only making you watch ads. So hyper casual itself is changing, evolving into something. I'm not saying poor hyper casual is dead or dying. It will always stay in somewhere because hyper casual is also a need for players, which they don't need to think about what they need to do, what they have to do, or anything. They just want to pick up and play and have fun easily. This is a need, and it will stay. But I'm just saying here there is a next level, and we shouldn't be missing it. So let's go some more details on hybrid casual. Hybrid casual games, as I mentioned, they are like hyper casual games, easy to get into game, no need to be master to win. Like casual games, simple gameplay, obvious progression. Like midcore games, deep gameplay and long time investment to success the game. If we go in deep on hybrid casual games, we can split it into two styles: light hybrid casual and deep hybrid casual. Light hyper casual is more likely hyper casual. Actually, less in deep game system, but typically lower production value. They also need low time investment to produce this type of games. Uh, but this means that there is less opportunity to monetize with in-app purchases. When we check the deep hybrid casual games, there is more like mega ones. There's a huge content. There are more progression paths within the game. So expanding off the loop, adding layers of meta, and having a more complex system of that meta is what we are doing here. We can also we can use piggy bank, gacha, and loot boxes to monetize our games because our complex level design can handle this kind of in-app purchases. By the way, I want to give some more details about this monetization methods, especially on Gesha, because there is a misunderstanding about Gesha and loot boxes. The word is coming from Gachapon. This word stands for toy vending machines in Japan. So there's a common thing between loot boxes and Gachapon, which is randomness factor. Uh, like you never, I'm I'm sorry. Like the vending machines, you put the coin in and you never know which toy you are going to get from that vending machine. This is same in Gesha and loot boxes, but the difference is uh, with loot boxes, player also get the things or in-game marketplace or achieving some achievements, or if there is a trade system, if it's a huge game, player also can buy these items from different players. But in Gesha, the system, this can be a wheel to spin or anything, but there is no other way to get this prize in game. So light hybrid casual is like aiming the low end devices, and there is nothing wrong with them whatsoever. They are like also in good quality. We are not talking rubbish games here. The distinction is like deep is almost like a triple A with way more stuff in it. Development process is taking longer than light. and you can constantly update them, so deep is actually never finished. So let's let's move into the comparison part. If we just check the slide again, uh, when we switch from developing hyper casual into hybrid casual, uh, our time investment is going high, production value is going high, game design is getting much more complex, but uh, retention is also going up. This is one of the great advantages of creating developing hybrid casual games. uh, Also, hyper casual games are related to trends, and it doesn't matter if you develop a perfect hyper casual game if it's not trend on that time. uh, game won't be placed in top charts. But in hybrid casual, you even you aim some trends. The hit point of your game is your mechanic and level design. So if you manage to create good level design and good game mechanics, there is an endless opportunity to keep the game alive with your updates. It was a short presentation, actually, and I'm talking quicker than I expected. If you have any questions, I think I can take the questions.
Thank you for your interesting lecture. I guess we have one question from the audience. Let me check. Yes. Do you have an example of the game of light and deep hybrid casual?
For deep and light hybrid casual games, I can give. I'm just thinking. This is a lectural dimension, but in development we are not thinking about it. So if I think just right now, Homa's tower defense game, City Defense, we can count it as a deep hybrid casual because there is a much more update chance for them to keep game alive for a very long time. But on the other hand, most of the idle arcade games, which are which are based on shoot them up, they are light. They are light hybrid casual games because mechanic is the same, and there is no strategy chance for you to keep the game updated. You can change the enemies you shoot, but there is no other strategy chance for you to make player make things harder for the player.
Okay, thank you. Um, I guess okay, we have another question. Um, from programmer Arjun from Trippy Tried. How to identify boundaries of what can go into building of hybrid casual and what not?
Actually, if we want to identify the boundaries of hybrid casual, uh, the first thing that we are going to look is if there is a basic core loop or there's a complex system, because the main difference between hyper casual and hybrid casual is your core loop. On hyper casual, player is mostly doing one or two things, but in hybrid casual, player needs to create a strategy, mostly create a strategy for while doing this, or spending their sources, because on the hyper casual games it doesn't matter if you upgrade your shooting rate, shooting speed, or damage. Either way you win the level. But in hybrid casual games, Player need to be following up a right strategy. So some of the games have one true strategy, and some of the games are uh, setting player free about finding their own way into this. But the main difference between them is their core loop, and the second, the monetization opportunities of these games. On hyper casual games, you make players watch some advertisements. You can give a pack for them as a subscription to remove the advertisements, but that's it. Maybe you can give some skins, but they are not something you earn a lot as a studio. But in hybrid casual games, your game complexity is letting you give players so many different stuff in game that they will use to make their process quicker or stronger their character. So there are, as I mentioned on the presentation, you can use piggy bank, you can use geisha, you can use toolbox system like Counter Strike or other big games have. If your game is, if it's possible for you to implement these systems, game can be defined as hybrid casual. But if it's impossible, then you are still in hyper casual.
Okay, thank you so much for your insights. I guess we have finished with questions. Thank you for your time, for your experience, for your sharing. Um, I will be glad to see you during our next conferences, and I wish you to have good holidays.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this chance to meet with great people. Have a good holidays.
See you.